So thank you for joining me today, Simon. Please can you explain how you got involved in Tranmere Rovers in the community?
I think I just came across it on the social media that there was a game locally at Liso where I live for like 40 plus, looking to get people involved in playing, and I hadn't been playing for a while, so I went along there and then found about the Friday game, futsal down here, so that's how I got involved in both about probably 2 or 3 years ago now.
And obviously we're talking with you today ahead of World Mental Health Day. Do you mind sharing your story and why you felt it was important to raise awareness?
Yeah, as I say, it is something that affects a lot of people, and only through my experience affects a lot of men who haven't been able to talk about it. So I did have what you probably used to call a breakdown or a depressive episode about 3 or 4 years ago, and I got diagnosed with PTSD, general anxiety disorder, depression and OCD, and I was quite ill for a period, but I was always quite open about talking about my mental health because I realised that, as I say, it's something that a lot of people experience, but don't always feel comfortable talking about. And once I did that, I was surprised about how many lads I know from like football in particular that you never would have thought had any issues with that, and then through that I had quite a few conversations and stuff because I'd sort of opened the subject that they shared their issues and stuff, and I think it's gradually becoming, the last few years it seems to be something a lot more easier for lads to talk about, especially as like some famous boxers and footballers have sort of made it public, and I think just sharing it helps people in general. Like.
Yeah, of course. And how important of a role has Tranmere Rovers in the community played in helping you?
Yeah, well, when I did get ill, at first I played football all my life, and it's always been an important part of my life, and also like a coping mechanism for dealing with anxiety and stuff, and I know a lot of lads I play with comment to me like it's the only time they sort of feel like they're free and not got problems is on the football pitch. But when I did get ill, I did find it, because I was depressed and stuff and different reasons, I stopped playing for well over a year, maybe 2 years, and it's probably the longest in my life without it. And I think I just thought I'll give it a go on the Thursday just because it was so close to where we lived and stuff. And then once I went, I enjoyed it. I think you forget how much you get out of it until you get back to it, if you like. Obviously enjoyed the physical exercise, helps you, but the people who were there were, friendly. There wasn't like a overly competitive atmosphere. The emphasis was on having a good game and stuff, and the Thursdays and the Fridays have been really good, just getting my fitness back up again, but meeting some positive people as well.
And you've just touched on it a little bit there, but how do you feel now compared to when you first got involved with Tranmere Rovers in the community?
Well, as I say, I wasn't playing at all, and I was quite sort of low on motivation and depressed, if you like, so I wasn't doing much in general, but football is one thing that I've always done. I've always been like half decent at, so just being able to get out and do it gave me a bit of confidence back as well, to be honest, and it's massive, been massive for me, giving me routine, giving me stuff to look forward to, and also after you've played, going home, you get a bit of a buzz, don't you, off when you've exercised and stuff, so it has helped me massively, and like obviously I've missed it when it's not been here over lockdown, which was I think a lot, that's affected a lot of people, hasn't it?
Yeah, of course. And to anyone out there who's struggling and listening to this, what would your advice to them be?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is difficult when you're in that place where you're, a bit depressed, you don't have the motivation to go out, and it is hard to make that first step. But once you do, if you choose, the right place and stuff, then when my experience with Tranmere was obviously the first time you go down, you don't know what it's going to be like, what the lads are like or whatever. But once you've done that first step, you start feeling the benefits straight away. So obviously Tranmere, I've got experience of where it is very welcoming and stuff, and when new lads turn up, other lads always speak to them. Steve obviously makes sure they're included and stuff. But even whatever it is, people might want to be involved, and even if they can speak to someone, maybe find someone just to go with them for the first time. Little things like that seem little, but they can just make that difference. It's just making that initial connection, I find.